the next little thing to talk about is the event that was going on. Was it in France or was it in Belgium?
Belgium.
Okay,
Belgium,
well, they're
yeah.
close enough. They basically speak the same language, right?
Well, part of Belgium is.
Some of them, yeah.
It's close enough. Like I said, English is the language we need. So click on over to this, buddy. Okay, if you didn't catch the opening ceremony for this event, I think that you should. So let's talk about that stuff to kick things off. They went for the classic DJ approach, dressed up as a counter-terrorist, I guess. And they had a woman.
I think it was the terrorist from Vertigo, the robber.
Yeah. Okay, so they went with somebody dressed up as a character from Counter-Strike. They also had a woman who couldn't sing, trying to sing. I think she was lip syncing. I'm not sure.
Yes.
And
then
they thought
partially the thing is, like, you could still hear her voice like behind the auto
track,
which is fucking why even go through that then? Like that made
just
it
play
also
Britney Spears or something.
Yeah.
And then actually
worse.
Worse than that was not the whole DJ bullshit. Was actually the thing that got me the most. What the fuck? Was the sniper cam. So those who might be familiar with watching these events, you might realize they do like kiss cam and stuff where they, like they had one where it was like Pasha biceps cam at the major or some shit like that. This was a literal screen with a circle was the only thing you could see and the crosshairs of a thing, and it said sniper cam, and it was going around the audience. So the producer, I think, can bring that up for everybody at home, just so you can see how fucking ridiculous this is.
So you can all enjoy it.
How many people does this go through, right? Before, but like, oh yeah, that seems fine. That seems like something we'll just put on. Like what?
Not the most.
It's just so fucked up, man.
Not the most well-produced event, was it?
Nah, fuck. I mean, I was just sitting there.
I wish people could hear our producer just like wailing in the background.
Like as it was going on, like all of this shit happening, I'm like no one will remember the fails.
I was muting stuff even like during matches, just because like even the casters, some of them weren't particularly great. But like whenever it went into like an analyst segment or whatever, I just turned it off because it didn't make sense.
Like honestly, if someone knows the song, like follow me, Magic Destination, please link it to me here in chat or in Twitter, because it's been in my fucking brain for the last 5 days. Literally wake up and all I can hear is that DJ guy like follow me. It's so good, so fucking good. I want to listen to it, but without the interrupted auto-tune issue that they had. So if someone knows what it is, I didn't try to Shazam it though. I should probably. Brilliant opening ceremony. It was out of this world.
Did you see the AR that they were doing, the augmented reality and shit?
Look,
with like
that wasn't too bad though. That
could have been worse.
It looked very bad.
Yeah, it's like the quality.
Why did they spend all of that money on those stuff? Like those like custom HUD, all of that
custom HUD.
Like,
I don't understand why people just like do custom HUDs just to do a custom HUD. Like it didn't bring anything else. It just literally like changed the look of it, changed the design, and that's it. Not bringing anything new to the table or anything. Not even improving it. It just looked like a shittier version of the current HUD basically. And that's like I just don't understand why you would even do that. Like why set yourself apart that way when you can do it so many other ways? I don't understand, man.
All right.
So after all, it is called Mr. E Mysterio. It's not Mystery Mysterio. It's Mr. E Mysterio. Interesting.
Okay.
But someone's found the video, which is brilliant. It's on Spotify.
So I think
it's
what we can do is talk about the Counter-Strike that went on there. Now, for those of you who missed it, the teams in attendance were Vitality, G2, Epsilon, Virtus Pro, Sprout, LDLC, Gamer Legion, and Frostfire. Frostfire are a team from, I want to say, Malaysia?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. We had the grand final, which was between Sprout and Vitality, and that's because throughout the group stages, I think it was G2 who fucked up and lost a game they shouldn't. So we had G2 versus Vitality as the semi, and that's probably the biggest takeaway here. Yeah, so the biggest takeaway here is probably just to talk about those two French teams. Maybe we'll shit on all the other teams first, and then we'll talk about the French teams. So let's start with Virtus Pro. Prof, yeah. I know you've got some thoughts about this one.
Is there... Huh?
Did that
cut out? Or...
No, I'm just like, what to say? What to say?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have anything to
talk
say
about Virtus Pro.
So what did their results in this event were 16-14 loss to recently formed Gamer Legion, which features Scream, Existence. They've got Nork, the kid from Sweden, in there on the AWP, Hampus, and the last player is HS. And then they lost 2-0 to G2. And the reason they had that opening matchup so early was because G2 lost 16-8 to Epsilon. So VP might feel a little bit hard done by after having to play G2 so early, but regardless of that, I heard some rumors that they were in and out. It wasn't too much of a high event for them in terms of being focused.
Look, they're waiting for that major, IM Katowice, Sydney, events like that get them going. Like this event's like under their standards, so no point in like going hard in practice, like warming up and all that stuff.
/S.
Yeah, so all in all, yeah, I think like if that is true, that they really didn't even put in a lot of work, didn't really try hard for this event, then like what are you waiting for? You're not gonna get like this event, like them being invited to this is just like it's a freebie for them. Like LDLC, obviously this team isn't that good, but they were invited after that IM Chicago result. So Vitality, G2, Sprout, Epsilon, all better teams seemingly than Virtus Pro right now. So you should be happy for actually playing on LAN. Should be pretty excited. But
world ranking number 87.
Not the case.
Everything that needs to be said.
Not the case.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that team is ever going to get back to a form of glory, at least with a Polish team, unless they buy Ego, or maybe I think Taz's team is definitely better than them now. So VP, even though they've just tried out a bunch of new players for their fifth, I think they ended up with Veggie.
They won Veggie?
They're not even I think that's who they got, right?
Yeah. No, that was a stupid joke. Never mind.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Veggie,
Vegeta.
Anyway, so I think, we don't need to talk about Frostfire. We don't need to talk about VP. LDLC, it was their debut with their new roster, but I don't think any of us are even remotely excited about that team. Gamer Legion, similar things in my mind. They're just another run-of-the-mill type squad at this point.
Right. At least there are a couple of exciting players in there.
Do you want a sad factoid about LDLC?
What is that?
Who had a 1.21 rating in LDLC's like very bad, underwhelming tournament?
Was it Sixer?
It was Sixer.
It actually was Sixer.
1.21 rating. Happy 1.0, and then everyone else like below. And they played against Frostfire and who did they play actually? Give me a second. Frostfire, best of 3, lost 1 map, and
Sprout
lost 3 maps to Sprout, best of 1 and a best of 3. 16-4 first map against Sprout, then 16-6 and 16-10. So they were kind of building. If they played like 5 more maps, they'd win 1. It would be good.
Well, they didn't have a lot of practice going into this, right? They were only recently announced as being a team, but this is like it's the leftovers of the older generation. So we have like the leftovers of the younger generation who are in that team that Haji's in. I forget what they're called. Fuck. How is this eluding me right now?
Isn't it 3D Max? X3D Max?
X3D Max,
yes,
yeah.
That's the one. So there's like the leftovers of the new generation of French players are in X3D Max, and it feels like the leftovers of the old French scene is in LDLC, like at least players who had an opportunity, right? So Major, we all know that he was playing for Space Soldiers for a while there, but for those of you who don't know his history, he was a 1.6 player, actually used to play with Sixer back in the day. XMS, he had his shot. Happy, obviously, we know how good of a player he was once upon a time.
XMS retired, by the way. He retired. Yes, he said, I'm retiring. Then went to play like Fortnite, if I'm not mistaken. And now he's back in Like, who sold LDLC this team?
Here's a fun thing for players if you're going to announce that you're going to retire. Make sure you stay retired. Don't come out and say that you're going to retire and then come back in like 6 months' time for some reason. It's better if that is the case. If you don't have anything else to go to, if you're going to retire from Counter-Strike because you can't get a good team or whatever, just fucking leave it, bro. Just disappear. Just disappear. You don't need to announce to the world that you're retiring. And if you're like maybe, I don't know, fucking Get Right, and you're done with NIP and you know you're going to move into something else, you know, then you can come out and you can say you're retiring. Otherwise, just don't say anything because it just seems silly after a while. Otherwise, you just, you know, it's better just to keep it quiet. But anyway, G2
Look,
and Vitality.
I take this X3D Max team over LDLC any day of the week. And Meyer should have gone to X3D Max. Or actually, LDLC should have taken X3D Max and just added Meyer to be the in-game leader. It would be something you could get at least a bit excited about, because this is... Even the youngster got, Rodin, is just a guy that no one really rates, even in France. So what's the point?
And he was the lowest rated player of the event.
So yeah, we can move on. Chad, take it away.
Okay, so the only game that mattered in the entire tournament was G2 versus Vitality in the semi-final. And it ended up going 3 maps after Shox was able to clutch a 1-on-3 in overtime to secure overpass. And
overpass overtime, yep.
They got fisted on the last game. So, did you guys have an opportunity to watch much of this? I know it was difficult.
I watched this game at least.
What did you... Because I think... Well, first of all, what did you think about G2? Because obviously Amanek has been added.
I saw a lot of the problems that I kind of anticipated, which was with Amanek not having enough freedom in this team, because it did look like he was a little bit more constricted than probably he would have liked to, because he's obviously used to. We talked about this last time, but I'm going to repeat it. He's obviously used to teams giving him the freedom that he wants, doing anything that he wants, and I don't think, based on what I saw, I don't think he's getting this in G2. And he really didn't have a great tournament. Like, he had a great map, the overpass map that they won against Vitality, and that was pretty much it. I saw a couple of their other games. I saw their Gamer Legion game and maybe Epsilon. Yeah.
He had 2 positive ratings. Everything else in the red, and like a lot of 0.6s, and then that like 30 bomb and 1.10 against.
He had 0.66 in a one-sided game that they won against very BP. So it's just also says something. But that's something that I saw in that Vitality game as well. Even though he actually played a pretty good map, like map 2, I thought that he looked a little bit out of his role. But that's just, yeah. That's about it.
So we have to see more, I guess. They'll be playing in Pro League as well.
I would say so, because like it also looked like they weren't completely prepared for this. Because that there were some fumbles, like there strategic wise, where people were like running around not sure about smokes. Like particularly Amanek, I saw him kind of running around a little bit confused at times. I'm not entirely sure if it's just like the way G2 operates, because they've obviously not been the best led team with Shox at the helm. And he seems to be kind of emotional about the whole game, not just in-game leading. So I'm not sure if it's just down to G2 and their playstyle, or just them not having enough preparation. But that's how it looked to me.
Yeah, I think that Malik definitely has a tough job as the coach of that team, because of how I think nowadays, if you could say it could have been the case all along, but at least how Counter-Strike used to be played in the past, being an emotional leader could actually be a benefit in certain situations. Mainly when you're winning, because of the fact of momentum. But now that Counter-Strike has changed completely, I think, within compared to 2015 to now, in its approach and how more isolated duels are, how much better mid-round calling is, how having to think of so many different solutions for individuals. Source used to be throw your smokes and fight, and that was it. You'd win or lose. 1.6 was a little bit more slower in certain situations, but it was the same with, if you did a tactic, that was either win or lose. The mid rounds weren't a thing, like in the same way as they are now. Information gathering, everything. So having Shox as the best player with Kenny, and also the in-game leader, if he's emotional and hard to keep track of, then that is always going to be a detriment to them. But they do have to pull up their socks, because in a couple of days' time they have to play Fnatic, Na'Vi, and Windigo in Group C, the group of death for Pro League. So all in all, do we see for either of these teams space, or at least the idea that maybe Kiyoshima could be a good pickup?
I'm not sure that there's anybody outside of like. Well, that's the thing about Major, right? We thought he potentially could have joined G2 when he was out of Space Soldiers, that was at least a possibility, and obviously that didn't happen. I feel like that was kind of the last chance for G2 to get a chance to get an actual in-game leader rather than just like leave it to Sharks, who we just know that he's not completely in it all the time, and after a while he just like gets tired of it. I've been hearing this from French players like so many times that yeah, that's the thing. Like if they actually get a decent in-game leader whose heart is fully in it and who's kind of like made for it, rather than Sharks who just jumps back and forth, then I could see something potentially changing for G2. But other than that, I don't see that.
Just want to reply to someone that says Major speaks French. I'm not sure if it's a joke, but maybe some viewers don't know that he actually played in the French scene for his whole life. Like from 1.6, he was always in the French scene, but
he played for much longer in France than he did in Turkey, basically.
He's only of Turkish descent and played for like Space Soldiers from 2016. Like after that TWC win that they won, then he made the move to Space Soldiers, and that actually propelled Space Soldiers. That and getting Calyx was like the
he played it with Sixer back in the day in Millennium in 1.6.
Yeah, E-Sahara.
E-Sahara, yeah.
That too, yeah.
So,
with MS6 and those
guys. What I wanted to say is that isn't there some talk about Alex actually leading full-time for Vitality now?
Oh, is
there? I know Nell tweeted it.
What?
And I saw
I don't know about that.
Someone else also say that like
OBS crash. Fucking shit.
okay.
Well, I guess we're on. We're on. Well, we're on. Okay. So we had a couple of. We were trying to copy the production from the event in Belgium, but we failed. We're still doing a better job. So we were basically talking there about Alex potentially taking over the in-game leadership role from MBK
and then Vitality lost us. So
I've not heard about this. And I literally talked to MBK like on the way back from Shanghai. I was on the same flight with him, so I had a pretty good chance.
Interesting.
So that's the.
Can they? Yeah.
Unless this was like a very, very recent development where they just figured, for this event, fuck it, let's just have Alex lead and see how it goes. I don't see NBK just letting off on that though. I don't think he's in the. I just don't see him being in that position of letting go of in-game leadership, because they've actually looked like they've been improving. Like sure, not massively, but from event to event, they seem to be improving. So I don't understand.
Yeah,
I don't understand. I don't know what people are laughing about here, but
Lucas is like our producer is laughing about himself being on stream. I guess
he's been he's made the big time,
and also not doing his job and getting Striker on the camera here, but then laughing to just go off.
While Lucas tries to fix this, I guess unless you guys have anything more to talk about, I think we're probably almost done with this one. Do you want to bring it up? Whatever you wanted to bring up. Whatever you wanted to bring up. I can't. I don't have any energy today, Lucas. It's not possible. Today is a Monday. It's like my Saturday. I'm ready.
Right.
I don't even know what we're doing.
I don't know what we're ready for, but
we're getting surprised.
Oh Jesus Christ!
How did you manage to do this? How is this an actual thing?
No wonder OBS crashed. The cunt's too busy fucking playing around with that bullshit that he's doing his job. So that's why we're in this position. So we're going to move on. That's a fantastic way to close this down.
This episode is over. What are we doing?